What's up YouTube, Capital G here, letting you guys know what the heck happened at YCS Memphis. I read up on the coverage so that you didn't have to. So first off, the attendance of the event. I always like to talk about the attendance of the YCS events just so you can know how things are kind of going. The attendance of this event was respectable. It did not reach the 1,000 barometer that I like to, say is like a really big, nice size event, but I think that it's 750 participants, or 749. I'm gonna go ahead and round that up. I think it's actually pretty respectable, and I actually have kind of a theory on why the last couple of YCSs have not had like the greatest attendance numbers. Although if you really look at like YCS Atlanta, that event had well over 1,000 at the beginning of the format. If you look at YCS Bochum, that happened in Europe, that broke all sorts of attendance numbers. They had to like get extra tables, and it was well over 2,000 people. I don't think it's because people are like getting sick of the format. I honestly think that it has to do with the location that Konami is putting these events in. And I'm not saying that Konami is putting these in, terrible places or whatnot, but if you look at YCS Memphis, Tennessee, this is the first event that has ever actually been held in Memphis. And I'm not talking about, small level events. Well, I don't consider regionals like super small, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about high level premier events, YCS, Worlds, Nationals, things of that nature, a Shonen Jump Championship. This is the first one that has ever been held in the city of Memphis throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. And, they have had major events in Tennessee before, but they've all been in Nashville. They had Nationals in Nashville one year. They had Shonen Jumps previously during like the 5Ds era and during GX and stuff in Nashville. So this is kind of a location that a lot of people may not be familiar with. This is not like Philadelphia or Atlanta that gets an event, every single year. So when Konami puts an event in Salt Lake City, Utah, when they've never had a YCS there, or in Memphis when they've never been there before, yeah, you're gonna get some people who are like, I'm not familiar with the area, I'm probably not going to go. And if you've never been to Tennessee before, Memphis is actually in like the western part of the state. I've been to Nashville, and it's kind of like the centralized location, so they're going to miss out on a lot of the East Coast people from like Pennsylvania and Maryland, Virginia, my own North Carolina. A lot of those people are not going to go to the event because it's like ends up being like a 12-hour drive to Memphis, so people aren't going to go. So I really feel like the attendance numbers are not an indicator to people not liking the game right now. I think it's just these new locations and whatnot. And maybe Konami is just testing these places out to see, do we want to come back to these places, or are we just going to stick with the traditional Denver, Philly, Los Angeles, etc., etc. Now, when you look at the actual meta breakdown, I kind of felt like it was what was actually expected. You look at the top 32, you had 12 Pendulum Magician decks in there. You had, second place being a True Draco with 8, and 4 for Trickstar. I feel like Trickstars is exactly what most people probably would have predicted. I still believe that most people think that Trickstar, myself included, is the third best deck of the format. Trickstar can do well against every deck, but doesn't have quite that power ceiling as Pendulum Magicians or a deck like True Draco has, where, True Draco can open with Masterpiece, and that's unaffected by traps, slip over a skill drain, and it's like, have fun with that. Or you open up with Masterpiece plus like Anti-Spell Fragrance, and it's GG for Pendulums. Or we obviously know that if Pendulums pop off and you don't have that copy of Ghost Ogre or something like that, it's pretty much curtains for you because their pop-offs are going to be incredibly insane. We did see some newcomers though. Gem Knights actually broke through, and oh my goodness, guys, you gotta watch this deck profile. This is on Asian Persuasion's channel. It is a 60 card Gem Knight FTK that also has some heroes in it. I don't even know, man. Trying to explain this deck is like trying to explain quantum physics to a kindergartner. It is actually all over the place. And actually, that was one of the surprising things, was the popularity of a lot of these 60 card decks. You see right here, there were 2 60 card dinosaur decks. Actually, Jeff Jones, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh player of all time, was playing one of those dinosaur decks. And there seems to just be a lot of 60 card decks rising, despite the fact that so many people play Ash Blossom and that grass is greener is, still limited. I think a lot of it has to do with Fairy Tale Snow, but you got a zombie plant deck here. I think a lot of it has to do with there just being so many good splashable engines right now. You got the zombie engine, You have the Lightsworn engine. You've got plants, despite Dandelion being banned. You still have Glow Up Bulb, and you still have Spore, good cards to summon back from your graveyard. Zombies, dinosaurs, shadows. There are so many good cards to use from the graveyard. I think it's just really I think it's appealing to play a lot of these 60 card decks. You've got Neck Knight Invoke still pulling up the rear. Now, I don't think the fact that Pendulum Magicians ended up winning this event, shout out to Kamal Crooks. I've actually played him in real life. Fantastic player. From Pro Play Games. It was a Pro Play Games finals match, and Kamal was one of those people who probably would more like sooner or later he was going to win a Shonen Jump or excuse me, a YCS event, because he's always at the top tables, he's always making day 2, so it was definitely well deserved. But just because Pendulum Magicians had marginally more tops and, ended up being a finals mirror match, I don't think that you can definitively say just because of this event that, like, Pendulum Magicians are better than True Draco. I mean, when you have one deck taking up 8 spots and one deck taking up, 12 spots, to me, that kind of feels like it's a coin flip format, as to what is the best deck. I'm not talking about, what is going to win, like, the next YCS, because I feel like that's kind of up in the air, but I don't really feel like we have a bona fide best deck of the format right now. You look at 8 and 12, and a lot of these matches probably came down to like 1 card, or maybe a player's 6 card if they opened up with a hand trap, like small things like that. Now, I do think it was a shame that Konami did not stream this event. I'm not sure why they have not been consistently streaming the North American events, because in Europe, they stream every single one of them. And I say that because they had some amazing feature matches. In fact, Asian Persuasion was doing double time. Not only is my man getting the getting all the top 32 deck profiles, but you can see he's also playing in the feature matches. He was running Mech Knight Invoked in this match. You also have another amazing match with Jeff Jones, who was like, man, haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh all that much lately, but I can still easily top 32 in my sleep. Do you boys not know who I am? I've been doing this for like 15 years. Come on. So you got good feature matches with Jeff Jones. You've got good feature matches with Agent Persuasion. It's a shame that people didn't get to watch these, and one of, without a doubt, actually, I can't even say that it was one of these shocking events, but I feel like it is a big talking point from this YCS. I feel like I would be disingenuous if I did not bring it up. Is the player who ended up going first after Swiss. There we go. If I can actually find my page, the player who went undefeated in Swiss, I believe he went 9-0-1. This is him right here, and some of you might not recognize his name. In fact, I didn't even recognize his name, and I have met this player in real life. I met him at YCS Atlanta. Nicest person that I've ever met. I cannot pronounce your name. Dude, I am officially deeming your name unpronounceable. No one can pronounce his name except your mom, and if you guys don't know who that is the one and only Team Samurai X. Yes, Sammy played True Draco at YCS Memphis and freaking went undefeated. You can see clearly, Sam, the memes have already started, by the way. But Sam was playing out of his mind. I don't know if the dude has just been storing up extra power or if he decided to just go Ultra Instinct, but he was absolutely incredible. He did not lose a single duel in Swiss playing his True Draco deck. And the crazy thing is, I kind of feel like maybe this is me overestimating the situation or me not knowing the temperature of the room, but I kind of feel like Sam might be single-handedly changing the way people actually look at YouTubers. And he told me to my face at YCS Atlanta, he says, Cap, I really want to top a YCS event because I'm so sick of making these deck profiles and then people telling me my decks are trash, that they don't work, that I've never played them before, that I don't even play the game. And I actually felt like, yeah, this dude is putting in the time and effort, and he finally broke through at YCS Salt Lake City, and now right after that he has made top 16 at this YCS event. And the guy's freaking going undefeated in Swiss. And you guys know the old axiom about YouTubers is that we all suck. None of us actually know how to play the game. We can't do anything competitively. And you now have Sam, who has made day 2 at 3 straight YCSs in a row. The guy got top 32, top 16. I mean, honestly, he's really on the precipice of maybe even winning one of these damn things. Like, would it be that big of a shock if Sam ended up with the run he's on right now? If he ended up winning a YCS in like the next year, I kind of wouldn't be that shocked, because even before this run, with True Dracos, because I do believe in, you know, players having like really good formats. There was a format where I averaged, I think, 9th place at regionals, and I got like 2 top 8s. I think before that he had like a top 8 at like a Toronto regionals and with ABC, and I think another one with either Zodiac or Pendulum Magician. So Sam has been a good, competent player. I think he's finally breaking through, and maybe people are going to start looking at YouTubers a little differently, because, you know, back in the day, people like John Moore won a Shonen Jump Championship, and Robbie got top 4. So I feel like maybe the age of YouTubers sucking and being treated like jokes, maybe that's going to end, or maybe they'll just come to my stream and you guys will see how bad I really am. Now, when it comes to the secondary market, there's not really a lot going on. In fact, a lot of the cards that you would expect to be expensive right now, because True Draco and Pendulum Magicians are probably, you know, the first and second horses in the race right now, they're actually like super down. I agree with House of Champs. I kind of feel that it's people just scared to invest a lot of money, because I do believe that there is going to be a ban list probably within the next 3 weeks. I think we'll probably see it around the 2nd week of May, and the event that the Shonen Jump in New Jersey coming up in May, I feel like it's going to be played under a different format. So people don't really want to drop a lot of money on Electromite if you're not going to be able to use like Astrograph Sorcerer, because it gets banned. Same thing can be said with something like Dragonic Diagram, where you don't want to invest in 3 Diagram and 3 Masterpiece if Masterpiece ends up going to 1, or if it ends up getting banned, then it's like, you know, the rest of the deck is kind of like dead on arrival. Now, interesting enough, we did not see anything from the Dark Structure deck. I'm gonna go ahead and type it in, Lair of Darkness. We didn't actually see anything from Lair of Darkness. I played this on my stream on Saturday. It's not that it's not you know, a deck with potential or anything like that. I just kind of feel that Lair of Darkness is missing something. I think they need like maybe 1 or 2 other good monsters. I don't think the pure versions are good enough to top right now. However, I feel like their cards have like incredible potential. Maybe you can mix them in with Infernoids. Obviously, when we get these Sky Strikers, aka the Brandish Maidens, Darkest Diablos will be absolutely nuts in that deck, and Lair of Darkness is extremely good with Infernoids, because you can tribute your opponent's monsters for your Infernoids to basically use them as DD Crows. I just feel like pure versions right now are not all that strong. Like, I don't even know if they're tier 2. I feel like there are other decks like Paleos and Ultra guys that are just going to actually be better. They're kind of in this, I don't know, they're in this weird territory with like Element Sabers, where they just aren't quite there yet, and maybe they just need a couple of other things to push them through. But I don't know, maybe in a couple of YCS events we'll end up seeing them kind of break through and shock the world like World Chalice did at YCS Bochum. So whatever you guys thought of YCS Memphis, whether it was, you know, the kind of standardized top 32 that we got, or Team Samurai X, yo, Sammy, if you see this video, keep doing your fucking thing, man. You're making all the YouTubers out there look good, and these memes are freaking awesome. Leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.